If you'll look on the front of the microphone, it says push. And when I say push, I mean you have to push. And you'll see a green light come on. So if you could just kind of test it out yourself there, and you'll see it turn green. And whenever you're done, you just hit it again, and it cuts it off. And of course, Elena, like we talked about, yours is just going to go a little dim. Okay. But we appreciate y'all coming today. Just quick. The chief intends to only answer questions about the partnership that we're going to discuss today. We will be taking questions. If you've marked, if you said you wanted to talk, what's going to happen is Lieutenant Borneo will have the sheet. He will go in the order that you came in. He will call you out, and then that way you can ask your question. That way it just kind of keeps it kind of clean, and you're not fighting to talk. Do you have any questions for me? Because we're at about 4 minutes, and we plan to promptly start right at 3:30. All right.
Now that Chris went over it, I'm going to call on you in this order. Hello. Oh, I dropped mine somewhere. Let's see, hopefully this one. Oh, Sarah. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the City of Raleigh Emergency Communications Center. Thank you to Directors Dominic Nutter and Satwana Hurdle for hosting us here today. This news conference is the culmination of 2 days of dialogue between the National Public Safety Partnership Team, the RPD, and federal, state, and local partners. It is my pleasure to welcome our speakers here today and those on the dais. United States Attorney Michael Easley, City Manager Marshall Adams David, Chief Estella Patterson, and retired Chief Erica Shields, who served as Chief of Police for the Atlanta Police Department and then the Louisville Metro Police Department. With our speakers today is Chief of Staff Amanda Roll, Deputy Chief Rico Boyce, Deputy Chief Zachary Lachetti, Major Derek Ford, Major Brian Harrison, and Dr. Jeffrey Robinson, who is the chairperson of our Interfaith Community Ambassadors for Responsive Engagement Team. After the remarks, we will be happy to take a few questions related to the PSP and our goal of making Raleigh the safest city in the country. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce United States Attorney Michael Easley.
Thank you. I'm United States Attorney Michael Easley for the Eastern District of North Carolina. 1.5 years ago, I was proud to stand before many of you and announce a partnership, a violent crime action plan alongside our District Attorney, Lauren Freeman, and our Chief of Police, Estella Patterson. We saw and recognized a need to approach violent crime in the city of Raleigh with a data-driven and intelligence-led approach, an approach that recognizes that violent crime is best solved through partnerships with total coordination in a systematic way, with real follow-through and accountability for every state, local, and federal partner involved. We built that foundation 1.5 years ago, and that foundation led us to today's designation, a designation as a city joining a public safety partnership of some of the most elite and forward-leaning cities as it comes to public safety that the nation has ever seen. It is a great day to be a citizen of Raleigh, North Carolina. This designation as a public safety partnership city will bring United States Department of Justice resources to bear alongside some of the finest law enforcement personnel anywhere in this country. It will also come with a surge of training resources and technical support valued at over $1 million. It will put the city of Raleigh in a league of its own in its ability to access federal grant funding to support intelligence-led and community-focused policing. This is a proven platform that gets real results. It reduces shootings, it solves homicides, and it improves the quality of life for everyone that this program touches. We want to do that in a way that is done with integrity, that is victim-focused, and that is community-centric, because we know that victimization affects an entire community. And we absolutely have to have trust between law enforcement and the communities that we serve. Marshall Adams David is here as our city manager, a visionary leader who has made wise investments in building a law enforcement apparatus that is built on integrity, that is built on transparency, that invests in leaders like Estella Patterson, who have received national acclaim for the team that she's built and the work that she's done. The investments that you've made as city manager in having real 21st century policing for the people of Raleigh, North Carolina will pay dividends for our children and their children and generations to come. Thank you to the council and the mayor and the entire staff of the city of Raleigh for your partnership. This designation wouldn't be possible without you. We want to do this in a way that is focused strategically on the most significant drivers of gun violence and trauma on communities that are most affected by that. Just in the last several weeks, an FBI partnership alongside task force officers from the Raleigh Police Department resulted in 27 guns being taken off the streets of Raleigh, 6 of which were stolen. And that operation is still underway and just beginning. It only moves on from here. And we'll continue to focus on the worst of the worst offenders who are driving violence and trauma and inflicting pain and hardship on hardworking folks who deserve to live and work and earn a living and play and enjoy their communities without fear of gun violence. But we can't do that alone. It takes partnership with the community as well. So we're proud to have Bishop Hagee here with us and Pastor Robinson, who have committed to be real liaisons with our community members and find ways that our faith community can partner in these initiatives. Every community deserves to live free from fear of gun violence, and we won't stop until we've made Raleigh one of the safest cities in the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Easley. It is now my pleasure to introduce the City Manager, Marshall Adams David.
Good afternoon, and thank you, U.S. Attorney Easley. What an animated opening for today. So I will try to match his excitement and his animation in that really this is an event that marks a significant milestone in who we are as a community and who we strive to be as a community. I will take a point of personal privilege right here to say about 2.5 years ago, I had the opportunity to go through a recruitment process to hire our next police chief. It wasn't even close, if I'm being really honest, through that process of who we ended up ultimately selecting. So Estella Patterson has been the person that has stepped into the shoes, and there were some big shoes to step into. She has leaned in and she has put this community at her heart and at the forefront of all that she does day in and day out. And so as the city manager, I have the privilege to serve a city council that is focused on community safety, that is also in creating the best community that we have for people to be able to live, work, play, and learn. And as we will all resonate today, it is clear to us that Raleigh, as the capital city in the great state of North Carolina, while we have many challenges, I put our staff up and I put our team up against anybody in this country because we are fully committed to making this state and this city, more specifically, the best that it can possibly be. Today's milestone is an intersection. It is an intersection of the partnerships that we already had and the partnerships that we are trying to forge on the local, state, and federal levels in which we are trying to create opportunities to make communities safe. So it is my privilege to stand here today. I had other opportunities that I was supposed to be taking care of over the last couple of days, but we shuffled my schedule around because it is important to me as the city manager to make sure that our men and women that dress in blue every single day have the necessary tools, the equipment, and the necessary resources to make this community safe. So I'm excited about what this opportunity with PSP creates for this community, not just for this city, but also for this region. So again, thank you all for the partnership. We've got a long 3 years ahead of us. We're going to feed them really good. We're going to show them off to all of the amenities that make this community great. And I'm excited to be at the helm of the city during her best days. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief Estella Patterson.
Good afternoon, and thank you for attending today. And I'd like to thank all our federal partners, our state and local partners who are joining with me today, as well as our city manager for being here. We are excited to announce that Raleigh has been selected to participate in the National Public Safety Partnership, or PSP. This initiative will support our community in preventing and reducing violent crime through training, technical assistance, and coordinated access to a wide array of law enforcement and programmatic resources. I want the city of Raleigh and those who are here to know that we are serious about violent crime in our city, and we're going to address it. As our city grows, we experience the issues that come with that growth. Of course, there's traffic congestion, there's highway construction, there's other infrastructure impacts that we are all feeling, and there's also crime, and which can balloon as more people come and relocate to our great city. But despite the growth, Raleigh enjoys a relatively low crime rate, and we're very happy about that. And we're going to continue to ensure that our crime rate is low. However, if we have one homicide, that is one too many. If we have a burglary, that's one too many. If we have an aggravated assault between two juveniles, that is one too many. This partnership that we have entered is about getting that number to zero. Now, is it a moonshot? Perhaps. But my goal, as has been stated, is to make Raleigh the safest city that we can make it in this country. This is the purpose of being designated as a PSP site. And we know that PSP will help us to refine and implement violence reduction strategies and also created a lasted coordinated structure among our federal, state, and local partners, which, as our manager said, we have already had that infrastructure in place. It's a strong relationship that we have with our partners, and we're going to continue with that. The PSP team, which has made a commitment to support Raleigh during this 3-year engagement, will help us to expose new ideas and best practices to focus on strategic planning as well as collaborative problem solving. The Raleigh Police Department looks forward to working with the PSP team to enhance our capacity to reduce violent crime and increase public safety. We are joining a cohort of cities dedicated to sharing and learning best practices as well as innovative approaches to reducing crime. The PSP team will conduct strategic assessments. They will also provide expedited access to subject matter experts on crime analysis, technology, strategic messaging, crime gun reduction, and so many other topics. They will also conduct site visits and frequent update to support the Raleigh Police Department. They're going to collect data for us and help us to evaluate our efforts and provide access to various information sharing resources and tools. These evaluations will be shared with the community. Teamwork is going to be at the core of making this successful for us. I tell my team all the time that the word of the year for 2024 is team. We know that together everyone achieves more. It's going to take the team, it's going to take our community, it's going to take every stakeholder in order to see successes in our great city. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Chief Patterson. And our last speaker this afternoon is Chief Shields.
Thanks. Good afternoon. My name is Erica Shields, and I am the Strategic Site Liaison for Raleigh, North Carolina, and this is a mouthful, for the National Public Safety Partnership. And so you will frequently hear of it referred to as PSP. As a former chief who has personally been on the receiving end of the resources appropriated through PSP, I can say that I am truly, truly a believer in what this program has to offer, and I'm so looking forward to working with Raleigh, North Carolina, as we identify new opportunities to reduce violent crime. The PSP program is a DOJ initiative that's designed to assist cities in furthering the reduction of violent crime. It leverages technology, analytics, and collaboration efforts as we undertake different strategies to reduce the crime, but more importantly, collaborate with the community. The last 2 days have been dedicated to meeting with thought leaders from Raleigh, local, federal, and state agencies. To say that the talent in the room has been exceptional would be an understatement. And the respective understanding of the significance of strong collaboration will allow us, PSP, to more effectively implement our strategies. However, as with most ventures, leadership, strong leadership is key. And I will say that Chief Patterson is to be commended for her vision, strength, and leadership. And I'm truly honored to have the opportunity to work with her. We want to welcome Raleigh to the PSP family and thoroughly look forward to working with y'all over the course of the next 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Shields and Chief Patterson, to make a few closing remarks.
Yes. Again, I just want to thank all our partners for this. I thank the media for being here. You are a partner. You're going to help us to amplify what we are doing here in Raleigh. I'm thankful to our federal partners, being led by U.S. Attorney Easley, also to our city manager, our city partners that are going to be working with us to make sure that this endeavor is successful. There's no way that we do it without the entire community and the entire team. Also, too, you have members of my team who are here today. I'm so proud of having them. They have also bought into the vision of what we are trying to do here in Raleigh when we talk about making our city the safest city in the United States. They hear it from me, but they've also embraced it, and I'm so grateful for that. And I think with that, Lieutenant, we can take a few questions.
Thank you, Chief. And the first question is from Elena Athens with ABC 11.
Try to get this right. Hopefully it worked this way. Good afternoon, Chief. It's a balancing act, right, to try to reduce violent crime, but also build trust in the community, especially in areas where they feel marginalized. And there have been calls by community activists who feel that RPD needs some training in terms of culture, but also that their communities itself have perhaps been over-policed. So how to absorb this extra training, implement some of these strategies, but also continue to build trust within the community?
Absolutely. I will tell you first and foremost, when we talk about violent crime reduction, I always want to make it clear that Raleigh is not a city that has a lot of violent crime, and I'm very thankful for that. As I look at my peer cities, I see now they're dealing with some substantial violent crime. We just want to make sure that we keep our numbers as low as possible. And we recognize fully that we cannot do it by ourselves. So when you talk about the balancing act, we are eliciting the community. We want the input from the community to be able to build that trust. The Raleigh Police Department is a community-oriented policing department. We are working extensively to try to build that trust through different initiatives, through programs, through just being visible in the community and let them know that they can trust us. We know that we still have a road to go in building that trust, but we are devoted to that and we're dedicated to doing that. I invite the activists, I invite our community partners to be a part of this PSB to help us to be able to reduce our violent crime. So for those who are saying that there is a division there between the police and the community, we invite them to the table to help us to come up with solutions on how we reduce violent crime and make our city safe.
Thank you, Elena. Anna Johnson with the News and Observer.
Hey, Chief, I have a couple of questions. Can you talk a little bit about the unique challenges that Raleigh has, especially since this is so focused on the city?
So the unique challenges. So there's different things that we're dealing with. One is the growth of our city, which is just, part of something that we have to deal with, as I've stated before. That creates challenges for resources, making sure that we have enough officers, making sure that we have the tools that we need. City manager has committed to saying that she is committed to making sure that we have all the resources that we need to be successful as a city. One of our other challenges, it tends just to be, again, just the resources that we need to be successful. But I feel that the PSB and what we have learned over the past 2 days, they are resource rich. They're going to be able to help us navigate that, to be able to bring in the proper training that we need for our personnel, also for the community to be able to be successful in what we do.
Thank you, Anna. Next question is with CBS 17, Galat Malamed.
Hi, from the other cities that have already been a part of this program, is there either a particular city or perhaps a particular strategy or something one of the peer cities has done that you thought was successful and perhaps would like to try here?
Right. So that's one of the things that we have been talking to our PSP partners about is what are other cities doing? Another PSP site is Sacramento, California, and they have looked at some CVIs, they have looked at community violence interrupters, their entertainment district where they've seen some violence, they have done some things differently there. So we're hoping to learn from other agencies, other jurisdictions on what they're doing, what we can replicate here in Raleigh. Chief Shields talked about, she was the chief in Atlanta. I believe Atlanta was a site, or she has some resources that she can, Louisville, Kentucky. Some of the things that they have done there that we're hoping that we can learn from and bring here to Raleigh.
Thank you, Galat. And final question is Sarah Kruger with WRAL.
Chief, I know part of this is about gang violence reduction. How big a problem are gangs in the Raleigh area?
How big of a problem are gangs in the Raleigh area? So we have a presence of gangs here in our city. We're seeing mostly where juveniles are being parts of gangs. In terms of how big of a problem it is here in Raleigh, I would say that it's probably equivalent to we've seen some of our violent crime being committed by our gang members. I would not say, especially when I look across the spectrum at other cities, that we have a gang problem per se in Raleigh. I think we're probably like other cities where there's a presence of gangs and that we just need to make sure that we're monitoring and that we're staying on top of it. But I would not say that our city is gang-ridden or that we're having extreme problems with gangs.
Thank you, Sarah. And that concludes our news conference today. We appreciate you coming and have a great day.